Hi there, friends. I hope life is treating you kindly. I'm Lubomira, and thank you for joining me today. Welcome to all my friends, new and returning. It's always such a pleasure to see you all. If you're new, I'm happy to have you here, and I encourage you to check out more of my channel. I love sharing my projects with you all, and I appreciate you taking the time to spend a few crafty moments with me. Please remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already. By hitting that little bell, you'll get notified every time I post something new, and you won't miss out on any of the crafty goodness. In today's video, I'm sharing a more masculine card with a nautical theme. I turned this into an encouragement card, but I can see it making a nice birthday card or even Father's Day card. I'm excited to share this card with you, so let's get into the video. To create this card, I used 2 dies from 2 different Dollar Tree sets, a number of different colored pieces of cardstock, and the nautical themed stencil. I started off by ink blending the little boat from the stencil set. I chose some very typical nautical colors: a red, a navy, a light blue, and brown. I used Concord and Ninth inks, and I chose the colors Poppy, Wheat, Aqua Skies, and Blueberry. As I ink blended, I masked off areas so I didn't overblend into areas other than the one I was working in. I first ink blended the top of the hull in red, then I ink blended the bottom of the hull and the mast in brown. I chose the light blue and the navy for the sails, and finally the red for the flag at the top of the mast. When I was done with the ink blending, I fussy cut the boat out and moved on to making my background. For the water, I used a hill die from one of the Dollar Tree die sets. Now when you use a die, the cut it makes is identical from one piece of paper to the next. That's why inlaying a die cut with various colored papers is easy. The pieces just fit together like a puzzle, even though they're cut from different pieces of paper. A border die can do essentially the same thing. If you cut 2 different pieces of paper, you can mix and match them to fit together along the cut. The edges of the paper may not line up, but the cut lines will. I chose to create a wavy pattern alternating different colors of paper to create the sea. I die cut several strips of various cardstock, tilting the edge of the die back and forth between the cuts. I wasn't concerned with creating identical tilts or lengths of the waves. I knew I would be cutting the panel down, so the length of the die cut was really unimportant. After I had my pieces, I glued them down randomly, just fitting the curve of the papers together so that they matched up. As I mentioned, this creates an uneven staggered edge along the side of the panel. I cut the overhang with scissors and trimmed the panel down about a ½ inch all around using my trimmer. The amount you need to trim will vary on how staggered the edges of your panels are. After cutting down the panel, I went back and nestled the die back into one of the cut grooves. I then ran the panel through the die cut to create 2 panels. Essentially, this technique can create 2 cards out of 1 panel. Next, I ink blended a blue sky for my background, also using Concord and 9th inks. I used 2 blue colors, Powder and Harbor. I ink blended the lighter color to gradually become darker, although in the end, the color variation isn't as noticeable, and you could have just layered up 1 color to do this rather than 2. Before assembling my card, off camera I cut a cloud sky from Vellum and white glitter cardstock using the Dollar Tree cloud border die. I glued the vellum piece behind the glitter cardstock to add a little bit more interest to what would be the sky. I also trimmed the ocean wave panel just a little bit from the bottom to balance out the elements of the card better. I attached the clouds and waves to my ink blended panel using foam squares. To make sure my wave panel fit properly, I used my scoring board to help me line up the 2. Once I had my sky and waves in place, I added my sailboat to the scene, also using foam squares. I added a beige mat behind my boat scene so that it was framed with a slim border. I attached the mat using liquid glue and then glued my navy card panel to my white card base. Once I had my card base ready, I added the matted boat panel to the front of the card using liquid glue. For the greeting, I used Be Happy from the Dollar Tree bike silhouette set. I prepped a piece of black cardstock with an anti-static tool and stamped the words in Versamark ink. Then I sprinkled white embossing powder over the wet ink and heat set it with my heat tool. I trimmed the greeting into a banner using my trimmer and scissors. Then I attached my banner to the front of my card using foam tape and the help of a T-square to make sure it was straight. To finish my card, I added a few more details to really bring it together. I added a little shimmer to the wave using Wink of Stella. I drew ripples into the water, giving the appearance of glistening waves in the sun. I also added some clear Nouveau crystal drops over the boat windows and simple black squiggles to the sky so they appeared like birds in the distance. And that's it for this card. I really enjoyed making this card. I especially love the waves and how they came together. Let me know what you think in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching. I am so grateful that you stopped by my channel. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and leave me those comments below. I really do look forward to reading them. I hope you'll join me next time for another project I'm working on. Until then, have an amazing week, and I hope life treats you kindly. See you soon. Bye.